Sorry for the delay, I had some issues with my emulator with a new CPU I just got. But we are back up and running. Let's get into the news from yesterday, technically. So we have an update coming this Thursday on the 25th, and with some much anticipated from nearly the beginning of the month, updates to the new class coming. So the commander class will be added. This is the 6th class in the game. They have some interesting abilities and skills. They have an additional skill on top of all the ones that other heroes have that will only be applied in certain circumstances. We do not know yet if these have level ups like the others, or if it is just them on their own as a passive. We shall see. But yeah, here is a page to select the commander ability for your squad, if that commander is in the squad. Water Rosanna is all allies gain 100% more burst gauge in Calamity's Cradle. So in the Alliance raid, double burst gauge gain is quite amazing. We'll get to Dark Aslans in a little bit. And with a new class comes new items for that class, including the rune and agate for promotion and ascension, and new gear. So the first commander equipment set is going to be the Deliverer set for command. This set looks like this, and will increase your maximum burst gauge limit by 1. So if you're already at the maximum of 12, you could get to up to a 15 with a commander in your party with the full set of this. Or you can go with 1 set of this and the 4 set of the next one. The second commander set is the Charge Conquerors set, and this one looks like this, and will give all of your allies 15% action gauge boost whenever the commander takes damage from AoE attacks. You can mix and match with these. Be some interesting combinations to do now. Most of these characters seem to be building more on the tanky side and providing buffs. Chapters 8 through 10 of Book 2 of War of the Tyrants will be coming out on maintenance after September 6th. So by the look of that, there might be another update then, or just regular maintenance. There will be alchemy banners for Water Rosanna and Dark Aslan as of the update on the Thursday. A new Rosanna costume will be added. I'm not entirely certain if we had this one already. It looks very similar to the one we had before, but it's a different color. Ah, yes. So it's the same, it's a summer collection again, but this is the 2022 summer collection. So same outfit, different color palette. And of course, with all this, Rosanna is being added. Water Rosanna, the element from Normal Story. She is finally here after, what, 2.5 years now, I believe? There's just one problem. Water Rosanna is going to be paid, so we are continuing in 3 kind of terrible trends. She is the 3rd Rosanna that is paid, and is the 3rd Rosanna in the game, so still all Rosannas are paid only. The Avalon Times front page character is paid again, and we're continuing on with returning to $45 paid heroes. Not really liking these trends. I was thinking we were maybe going away from them, but we've kicked back to more expensive and still every month. Not sure how I feel about that. And alongside her we have Dark Aslan coming in, and he's free, but for renown, and you'll see in a second why I'm so questionable about this. Here is Rosanna's $45 paid only package. Sorry to all those people who were really looking forward to her finally being added, maybe as free. That is just not going to happen, apparently. Rosanna will be getting new relics for each of her elements that will be added to the Names of Legend summon for a limited time from the 25th to the 25th, August to September. Here is the detail that makes me questionable about Aslan. So there's going to be a hero recruitment event where he will be discounted 30% of the renown that you need to buy him. But you know how you saved up a really long time to spend that 5 million renown on Olivia. She's a really great unit, used everywhere, very versatile and effective. Major purchase. Dark Aslan's 10 million. He's double the cost of Olivia. And you can get him for 7 million, but for a little over a week. So if you don't have 7 million lying around, then, well, you have to pay 10. That's a bit crummy, if you ask me. That is like Oh, you didn't have this massive amount that's more than the main renown hero in the game? Too bad. Pay more. Even more. Really wish they hadn't done this, but what can you do? I guess start saving now. And if you haven't been ascending anyone for a while, then awesome for you. Geez, even the screen on this one, they only have 700,000. I really wish this lasted longer. That's nowhere near enough time to accrue that much, because you can't even really farm it other than maybe a little bit in Obelisk and in the raid. Onwards to our normal events. 25th to the 28th, we're going to have paid to upgrade. Conquer the Silence will be coming back Thursday through the 8th. Add gifts will be returning to Link Stones starting on the 31st, going through all the way to the end of September. Energetic Efforts will be returning the 28th to the 12th with these rewards. Obelisk Ascension will be returning for the beginning of the new Obelisk period next month from the 1st to the 4th. And the experience and treasure halls will be adjusting to the 2 new heroes with Dark Aslan for experience and Water Rosanna for treasure. We will also be getting an increase to equipment space of 100 and 300 costume storage space from 100. The Commander's Augate will be appearing in the Mystic Shop occasionally as well, just like the others. Take a look at what we're dealing with these characters. Are they even worth it? I'd say decently so, yes. Starting with our paid commander, Water Rosanna, Water Commander. Here are her level 1 and level 60 stats. A bit more heavy into defense, but a decent amount of health as well. Also a decent amount of attack, although I would imagine you're not really building her for attack, because none of her abilities lean into damage, at least not for her. Her S1 fills burst gauge by 108, attack selected target, 80% chance to grant immunity to the user and the ally with the highest attack power for 1 turn. Really good pocket buffing for your DPS to make sure they don't get crowd controlled. Starts off at a high chance too at level 1. Wonder if that gets to 100% with levels. S2 is going to be a 4-turn cooldown, fills by 390, really solid. Burst gauge gain. Increases all allies' defense for 2 turns, and gives counterattack buff to all for 1 turn. So it decreases the damage they take, and retaliates for taking damage as well. And now that that's changed to action gauge boosting on enemies taking damage no longer being affected by counterattacks, this is actually really good, especially on an S2. Her burst is going to cost 4 at level 1, attacks all enemies, and increases all allies' attack power for 2 turns, and crit resistance for 2 turns. She is very heavy onto the buffing allies. She has several different buffs, and is purely a buffer, so I would build her tanky and fast to get buffs out frequently. And then on top of that, her passives are fire damage resistance and speed, and her commander ability, the new one, is the one we looked at earlier. Double burst gauge gain in Calamity's Cradle, 100% more for the raid battle. Now, he costs a lot, he's going to take a long time to get, but he should probably be worth it as a very solid DPS support. Support for DPS is not DPS himself. Dark Commander, of course. He has very solid defense and health, nowhere near as much attack as Rosanna, but still, you're not going to be building it for damage. His S1, burst gauge by 108. Attack selected enemy, 60% chance to reduce their action gauge by 20%, which can still be used in the raid, but to a lesser degree. Not as helpful given a lot of bosses are immune to this kind of thing, but still helpful in certain circumstances. This is where he really shines, his major ability that you would want him for. 6-turn cooldown for very good reason. I don't know how much that will go down with levels. Call to Arms fills by 390, solid again. Heals the ally with the highest attack power by 100% of their health, full heal, and also raises their action gauge to full. And if the ally is dead, it also, on top of both of those, revives them. So this will keep your DPS in the fight and actively attacking and fully healed. Depending on how frequent you can get this out, with higher levels maybe, with cooldown reduction, and or something like Water Lin, he could be very effective in the same kind of vein as Dark Joshua. His for sure gets down to a 2-turn cooldown, so we'll have to see comparatively. I would imagine Aslan can be built much tankier. His burst starts at 3 spirit, Attacks a selected enemy, 60% chance to reduce their attack power and defense, and ignores resistance. So if this gets close to 100% chance, then it is guaranteed to do it. Starting at 60, though, it's a little bit sketchy. We'll have to see on Thursday when they come out. But you could slot him into a burst slot or use his burst in normal matches to reduce the damage you're taking from certain enemies and make them easier to kill. Passive for light damage. So they want you to do damage against light enemies, but he has very low attack. Bit confusing. And health. And his commander skill, Fighting Spirit of Dakion. Upon the start of this character's turn within Calamity's Cradle, there is a 30% chance to remove one of the most recent debuffs from each ally. Now again, don't know if these have levels, or what those levels do. I mean, even the passives have levels normally. So we'll have to see if that chance gets any higher. Hopefully it does, because if it does, that could be very solid. That is going to do it for Lord of Heroes News on Nyris Gaming. Until next time.